It's the most wonderful time of the year. Again, it's Creepmas time. Hi, I'm Ariane Saltoris. This is Kaipora Books, and we bring to you Natalis Obscura, following the German tradition of Advent calendars. So every day you get to open a little door and find a gift, a surprise. Here we have some spooky, ghostly, dark humored, horrific, cosmic horrific, and so many more sinister things around Christmas. I hope you enjoy. This is your door. The candle's flame fluttered, throwing trembling shadows across Evelyn's pale face. She stared at the storm outside the window. Snowflakes fell violent and silent into the darkness beyond, whitening the world on this loneliest of nights. Christmas Eve, once a time of warmth and joy, now hollowed out by grief. 5 years had passed since her husband had been taken away from her, and yet the pain remained as fresh as spring's first wound. Evelyn's fingers brushed absently over the locket at her throat, where a faded photograph slept. She could almost hear his laugh echoing through the room, almost feel his hand, warm, closing over hers. The clock above the hearth ticked on, marked by pulling her toward midnight. Perhaps she should go to bed, though she knew sleep would not come. Suddenly, an old Christmas carol rose faintly from the street below, carried by the wind, so distant it seemed to come from another world. But when the singing faded, something else took her breath. Through the frost on the window, beneath the golden glow of the iron street lamp, stood a figure she knew better than her own reflection. Untouched by time's cruel passage, his coat dusted with snow, her heart faltered as he lifted his face toward her, eyes shining, phosphorescent, inhuman. Impossible, she whispered, yet her trembling fingers were already undoing the latch. Winter air flooded the room, carrying the essence of pine needles and something older, deeper, like freshly turned earth. He reached out a hand without hesitation. Evelyn found herself leaning into the darkness, her nightgown fluttering in the icy wind. His fingers were colder than ice, hard as marble. Dance with me, he whispered inside her mind. One last waltz before dawn. She ran barefoot into the night, her face fever hot as though it were late August. One last waltz. Evelyn felt herself float toward him, light as a flake of snow, her feet barely touching the earth. Music rose from nowhere and everywhere at once. They spun together through the darkness, faster and faster. His face glowed with an inner light, his eyes gleaming green, unnatural, unkind. Not of this world. In a burst of sudden clarity, she tried to break free, but it was useless. Stay with me, he murmured against her ear. And then Evelyn realized her feet no longer touched the ground. Together they rose. The next morning, only footprints remained in the snow, ending abruptly the empty air. And a single candle still burning in the window, its flame black as ash. I hope you enjoyed this little story and come tomorrow for a new door.